All right, I am going over diaphragmatic breathing, starting on my back. So you're gonna lay down, knees are bent, feet are flat. I usually put my hands on my rib cage, and on my inhale, okay, I'm thinking about blowing up like a balloon. So inhaling into my belly expands, my rib cage expands, my pelvic floor relaxes, and I'm not breathing up into my shoulders and my neck, okay? So shoulders and neck stay relaxed. And then on my exhale, I'm going to blow out through my mouth. I'm gonna push my rib cage together and pull my pelvic floor up. So here's the demonstration, okay? So I'm gonna inhale in through my nose. You can see my belly rising, my rib cage is expanding, and my pelvic floor is relaxing, okay? On my exhale, I'm gonna exhale out through my mouth. I'm pushing my rib cage down, pulling my pelvic floor up, and you should feel those lower abs engaging, okay? So here's another demonstration. Things to pay attention to. Make sure on your exhale, you're not clenching your glutes. Your glutes should be relaxed the whole time. And if you film yourself, which you should be doing, make sure your lower abs on the end of your exhale are not pooching up. All right, so I'm going over diaphragmatic breathing in the quadruped position, so on all fours, okay? This is a really good way to do the diaphragmatic breathing and focus more on breathing into your back ribs, all right? So I'm gonna set up on all fours, all right? I'm gonna just slightly tuck my tailbone a little bit. I'm not clenching my glutes to do that. I'm just slightly tucking, okay? And then I'm gonna take a big inhale in through my nose. My belly is going to expand, my rib cage. I'm focusing on really breathing into my back and my back ribs and getting a lot of expansion in my ribs, okay? So I'm gonna take a big inhale. I'm breathing into my back. My belly is expanding, my ribs are expanding. I feel a good stretch across my back. And then I'm gonna exhale, keeping my spine where it is, pulling my pelvic floor up and feeling those lower abs engage, okay? So here I am on my inhale again, and notice that my back, my spine does not move at all, okay? So I'm inhaling, exhale, inhale, I'm relaxing my pelvic floor, exhale, I'm pulling my pelvic floor up, okay? So there should be no glute clenching in this, and it should be a good way to really get a good expansion through your back, okay? Okay, so I'm doing a 90-90 hip lift using the wall. This is a really good exercise to focus on pulling yourself into a posterior pelvic tilt, which is tailbone tucked, by using your hamstrings and your abs and not by clenching your deep glute muscles or deep hip rotators. So you're gonna set up on your back. You wanna be about 90 degrees. So 90 degrees in your knee, 90 degrees in your hip, okay? So I'm thinking about making sure my toes are relaxed, okay? And I'm just gently going to imagine sliding my feet down the wall so that then I feel that hamstring activation. And then I'm tucking my tailbone under and lifting up just a little bit, okay? So things I'm paying attention to here while I set up. My glutes should feel nice and squishy, okay? And my hip flexors should feel nice and squishy, all right? And I'm gonna do 5 to 10 diaphragmatic breaths here, okay? So I'm breathing in through my nose, exhale. Keep in mind this whole time, you're really focusing on your glutes staying nice and relaxed, okay? Inhaling. You should feel those hamstrings turning on. Okay, so here I am demonstrating positional clams. It's kind of a hard one to get a good angle of. So just listen to the instructions, but this is a really good exercise to focus on pulling yourself out of an anterior pelvic tilt into a posterior pelvic tilt without using your deep hip rotators, so those deep glute muscles. And it's a really good exercise to target the glute medius, which tends to get pretty weak during pregnancy, in my experience. It also focuses on using the hamstrings and your core to get into that posterior pelvic tilt. So we're gonna start laying on your side. Make sure you have a pillow for your head or a towel or something. So I'm setting up, my bottom foot is gonna be on the ground, pretty relaxed, okay? My knee and my hip are at 90 degrees, okay? So it's kind of hard to see. And then my feet are hip width apart, so you don't wanna be too wide, okay? They're hip width apart. My head's on the pillow. And I'm thinking about pushing my bottom hip into the ground, okay? So I get those obliques are working, so you're not just dropped down, okay? I'm pushing my bottom hip into the ground, those obliques are turned on, all right? And now I'm gonna reach forward. I'm thinking of dragging my top foot down the wall, okay? So I feel that hamstring turn on. I'm tucking my tailbone under. And again, my glute shouldn't feel super engaged, okay? So I'm tucking that under. I really feel my hamstring turning on right now. And I'm reaching forward with this femur, okay? So it is a little bit further in front of my bottom leg, this knee, okay? And then I'm gonna keep my big toe, little toe, and heel planted on the wall. And I'm gonna do some clamshells. All right, so I'm lifting this knee up, coming down. Good. So I feel a really good hamstring burn and glute medius burn. And my glutes are not super, do not need to be super engaged, maybe like glute max.